Bitter criticism. Maybe my bus is not that early, but I guess I should take this bus, despite this kind of 3 cents expensive, more expensive. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait reading my news, and will reading the bus too, which is my favorite hobby. How Iran's, this is from Russia Today. Russia Today, not Russia Times, and says Home World News, May 29 from yesterday, when our trouble seems so far away. How Iran's tragedy became food for the EU's political sharks. The helicopter crash that killed Ebrahim Raisi became a stage for European officials' rhetorical gymnastics. Oh, this is Rachel. Rachel Beautiful. Rachel Beautiful Marsden, I guess. Columnist, political strategist, and host of independently produced talk shows in French and English. I will search her on YouTube. She's definitely there. We have our photograph. Rescue team members work at the crash site of a helicopter carrying Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi in Varsagan. She could be my sixth columnist. I guess. I guess she writes well. Spare a thought for poor Janis Lenarčič, the European Union's Commissioner for Humanitarian Aid and Crisis Management. Normally, Lenarčič just rides shotgun, chiming in as EU chief diplomat. Joseph Borrell pops off most recently. So the most difficult part of my hobby is to keep recording after I don't know if to say landing, and suddenly it's raining here. But anyway, Rachel Beautiful Marsden. Normally Lenarčič just rides shotgun, chiming in as EU chief diplomat. Joseph Borrell pops off most recently. On the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. But when Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi's helicopter, I miss I miss myself completely. Helicopter dipped out. But when Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi's helicopter dipped out over a mountain range near Iran's border with Azerbaijan. He seized the opportunity to come out of the dugout and into the spotlight. And the Iranian government had asked the EU for help with the rescue mission. So Lenarcic stepped up to the plate and battered up for what seemed to be a gift of a pitch right across the plate and an easy home run. She's talking about baseball. I thought she was French, but independently produced in French and English. So I never saw French guy playing baseball. Anyway, home run. Quote: upon Iranian request for assistance, we are activating the EU's Copernicus Rapid Response mapping service in view of the helicopter accident reportedly carrying the president of Iran and its foreign minister. Lenarcic wrote on X. Seems straightforward enough, right? After all, in the EU's Copernicus satellite system has the bandwidth to spend time spying on the crops of farmers and feed the EU to ensure that they haven't been cheating on the paperwork submitted to bureaucrats. Then surely it could temporarily deploy to help rescue 8 people in a helicopter crash. It's funny because she's talking about I don't know, economy. So I don't know, fakery, speculation. Anyway, but then with a single hashtag at the very end of his social media post, Lenarcic triggered a whole lot of EU officials. Hashtag EU solidarity. Apparently the humanitarian crisis guy can even act in a straightforward humanitarian crisis without being bombarded by virtue signaling. Dutch MEP, Minister of, I don't know what is MEP. Dutch MEP Asita Kanko promptly launched into a rant about Iranian women that tested the X platform's character limit. Quote from X: I'm sad that Mahsa Amini and so many women and their supporters were killed by the Iranian regime. I am shocked that Lenarcic posted a message on behalf of the EU proposing to activate EU solidarity to save the Iranian president. Was this truly our priority? Solidarity with whom? The killer or the victims? On X. The truly or the victims? Sounds like some folks figure that the helicopter crash will be a convenient way to just enact capital punishment on the Iranian president in the absence of any due process, because that's effectively what it will mean to have the ability to facilitate a rescue but refuse to do so. Is that a European value now? Kanko alleges arbitrary punishment of women in Iran. Is the solution for the EU to them just arbitrarily execute the country's president through negligence? It is an absolute mystery to me how the EU Commission can show EU solidarity with Iran. What a miserable hashtag. What a mockery of the brave fighters for human rights in Iran. I expect an explanation for this, wrote German Bundestag member and EU parliamentary candidate Marie Agnes Strack-Zimmermann on the X platform. Leonard Six took a stab at an explanation. The provision of Copernicus satellite mapping upon request for facilitating a search and rescue operation is not an act of political support to any regime or establishment. It is simply an expression of the most basic humanity, he said. Yeah, well, the most basic humanity comes after narrative and virtue signaling for those jokers. It's almost like he forgot which clown he is helping to run and made a mistake of figuring that the most basic common sense will fly. The crash ended up turning into a de facto contest to see who could make a straightforward disaster into a spin-off for their own pet causes. How about ensuring human rights defenders and other victims of this regime in need of assistance get emergency visas for EU, or more support to civil society and human rights organizations as an expression for EU solidarity with Iran. German MAP Hannah Newman said on X, because a real emergency isn't the crash, it's some folks who need priority visas because they adhere to the EU's narrative on Iran, and EU solidarity should apparently be reserved for the bloc civil society regime change partners in Iran. The award for best virtue signaling is an aviation disaster goes to Lithuanian Foreign Minister Gabrielius Landsbergis, who managed to make it all about Ukraine. I don't feel comfortable sending condolences while Iran is sending drones that are used against civilians in Ukraine. He said the US should lobby France to add rhetorical gymnastics as a new event at this summer's Olympic Games in Paris. Definitely. I guess I use this expression too, the moral gymnastics, rhetorical gymnastics. I like it. France choose breakdancing as the new event that it gets to introduce as the host this year. But Landsbergis will really sweep any competition with his Iran to Ukraine sympathy shift low bar routine. You know, there's le parkour too. Parkour anyway. He's doing parkour, geopolitical parkour. All these EU officials should sound like they're auditioning for a Real Housewives of Brussels reality show. The way they whine and snipe, you will think that the EU Crisis and Humanitarian Commissioner had invited the Iranian president and his entourage to a party in Joseph Jungle Borrell's EU garden, and that their noses were out of joint about it. Was out of joint about it. Not that there were human lives on the line. The statements, views, and opinions expressed in this column are solely those of the author and do not necessarily represent those of the Russia Today. Yeah, because it's kind of too funny. It's too funny, isn't it? It's making fun about a lot of people. Well, I guess I'm definitely will remember Rachel Marsden, because she's beautiful. Look. She's beautiful and smart, and I do the same joke about gymnastics. And well, and the other guy I don't remember. Well, I'm gonna indict there too. Gonna read this now. May 30, I guess last month. I'm not sure if it may have 31 days. But here we go. May 30, 2024. Home Russia and former Soviet Union. US preparing major propaganda campaign against Russia in Scandinavia. Moscow. Washington could soon flood social media with videos provoking universal fear in Sweden and Finland, Russian intelligence claim. And well, we have a photograph here from the headquarters of the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service. Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service claims that the US, is preparing a major propaganda campaign aimed at sparking fear among the population of Sweden and Finland about Moscow's alleged territorial appetites. In a press release on Thursday, the service claimed that the U.S. State Department gripped anti-Russian hysteria has transformed into an unprincipled propaganda mouthpiece that is now striving to turn the entire international community against Russia. The first targets of this propaganda machine, according to Moscow, are the residents of Sweden and Finland, which recently joined NATO. The Foreign Intelligence Service has claimed that under the patronage of the U.S. State Department, a series of short videos will soon flood social media networks and instant messengers to demonstrate the seriousness of the Russian threat and drum up universal fear of Moscow's territorial appetites among the Scandinavian population. The campaign, according to the service, will be presented as a spiritual impulse of a team of independent experts and journalists, and will aim to spread panic among the residents of Sweden and Finland, like the times of McCarthyism in the US. In the US. After that, Washington supposedly expects top officials in the two countries to start throwing themselves out of the windows, shouting, "The Russians are coming! The Russians are coming! They are everywhere!" Yeah, well, this is interesting to me because I wanted to move to Sweden and Finland, but right now I'm not sure. At the same time, high-ranking Swedish and Finnish officials are being trained like diligent students to repeat the Russophobic mantra of their American patrons without hesitation, the service wrote. Specifically, it mentioned the commander-in-chief of the Swedish Armed Forces, Mikael Biden. Look, he's not Biden, but how you say that? Biden, Mikael Biden, who has recently claimed that Russia is planning to invade the island of Gotland to establish control in the Baltic Sea, and Finnish President Alexander Stubb, who has been claiming that Russia poses an existential threat and has insisted that the only way to achieve peace is through the battlefield. Moscow has repeatedly stated that it has no plans to attack any NATO nations or revise its existing borders with the West. Russian President Vladimir Putin has dismissed such talk as nonsense and an attempt to scare local citizens to extract additional expenses from people. Well, my comment here is, where is this beautiful Finnish president woman? Right now is Alexander Stubb. I forgot the name of the Finnish baby. Anyway, so CGTN. Just like that, CGTN, China, Arab states adopt joint statement on Palestinian issue. Well, yesterday there was a lot of news from China, and China supporting Muslim Arab world. This is a short one. China, May 30. CGTN, the 10th Ministerial Conference of the China Arab States Cooperation Forum adopted a China Arab States joint statement on the Palestinian issue on Thursday. This was from Xinhua News Agency. This was very short. Next one. Iran's supreme leader meets Syrian president in Tehran. World, May 30, CGTN. Iranian supreme leader Ali Khamenei and Syrian president Bashar al-Assad met in Tehran on Thursday. China, this was just a short news. It was a pretty important news. Meet Syrian. Well, I guess they met just because of Israel attack, isn't it? The Iran supreme leader, yeah, meets Syrian president in Tehran. Do you remember the I don't know, the attack on the consulate in Damascus, I guess. Well, China proposed 5 cooperation frameworks to advance ties with Arab states. Well, this calls the Molo right here in Chile, right here in Valparaiso. This is the Molo, I guess. Anyway, China proposed 5 cooperation frameworks to advance ties with Arab states. Politics, May 30, CGTN. Chinese President Xi Jinping delivers a keynote speech at the opening ceremony of the 10th Ministerial Conference of the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum in Beijing, China. Can you see there's a lot of cooperation? China is sending a message against Israel, finally. You know, because Israel is so important for the finances. But this time is an Arab issue. On June 25, 2023, 2 China-founded prototype satellites of the Mersat 2 satellite project were delivered to the Egyptian side, making Egypt the first African country with the capacity to assemble, integrate and test satellites. The project marked a landmark outcome of jointly building a Belt and Road initiative between China and Arab countries. Quote, China will work with the Arab side in the spirit of equality and mutual benefit to make our relations a fine example of high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, Chinese President Xi Jinping said on Thursday in Beijing. He made the remarks while delivering a keynote speech at the opening ceremony of the 10th Ministerial Conference of the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum. 5 cooperation frameworks. He proposed the 5 cooperation frameworks during the ceremony to step up the building of a China-Arab community with a shared future. China will build with the Arab side a joint space debris or observation center, a Beidou application, and a cooperation and development center. And step up cooperation in managed space mission and passenger aircraft in efforts to boost innovation cooperation. He called for enhancing cooperation on artificial intelligence (AI) to empower the real economy and promote a global governance system on AI. To promote economic and trade ties, China will accelerate their negotiations on bilateral and regional free trade agreements and advance the dialogue mechanism for e-commerce cooperation, he said. China has signed Belt and Road cooperation documents with all 22 Arab countries and the League of Arab States, under which more than 200 major projects have been implemented, benefiting nearly 2 billion people on both sides. He said China will also work with the Arab side in the spirit of inclusiveness and mutual learning to advance people-to-people exchanges. Cultural exchanges between China and Arab states have been flourishing, with increasingly deepened cooperation in language learning and education. More Chinese students are coming to Arab countries to learn the language and culture. Meanwhile, 6 Arab states, namely the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Palestine, Egypt, Tunisia, and Djibouti have officially incorporated Chinese language courses into their national education system. That's great. Despite you can learn any language online now. But this is awesome. Additional $69 million assistance for Gaza. In his speech, he reiterated that China supports Palestine's full membership in the United Nations, UN, and supports a more broad-based, authoritative, and effective international peace conference. In addition to the previous 100 million yuan, I lost myself. In addition to the previous 100 million yuan, about $13.8 million of emergency humanitarian assistance, he announced providing an additional 500 million yuan, $69 million in assistance to help ease the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and support post-conflict reconstruction. I just remember that, in fact, it was China that helped it. I don't remember who. maybe Palestine, yeah, in the early times of the conflict. China will also donate $3 million to the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East in support of its emergency humanitarian assistance to Gaza. China mediated the historic reconciliation between Saudi Arabia and Iran and has been making diplomatic efforts to facilitate peace and stability among Arab states. At the invitation of China, representatives of the Palestinian National Liberation Movement, Fatah, and the Islamic Resistance Movement, Hamas, had come to Beijing for talks on promoting intra-Palestinian reconciliation and achieve positive progress. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lian Jian said on April 30, 1 month ago. I don't remember if it was, I guess it was Palestine, yeah. China, I don't remember if it was Palestine or Iran, but China, when it was revolutionary, they helped some Arab states. As an Arab saying goes, friends are the sunshine in life. We will continue to work with our Arab friends to carry forward the spirit of China-Arab friendship, build together a better future, and make the road sunny toward a China-Arab community with a shared future, she said on Thursday. I guess this is polemic because of the Uyghur province, because this is just a Western polemic. But here we go again. Foreign Minister expands on Palestine issue at China-Arab Ministerial Meeting. Politics, May 30, 2024. As GTN. Palestinian youth checked the rubble of a house hit during an overnight Israeli bombardment in Nuseirat, central Gaza. is all destroyed. Anyway, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on Thursday expounded on China's stance on the Palestine issue at the 10th Ministerial Conference of the China Arab States Cooperation Forum, CASCF, in Beijing. The Palestine issue is at the core of the Middle East issue, said Wang, who is also a member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China Central Committee. That's a pretty touristic square here. I guess that's the Cerro Alegre, I guess. Anyway, no matter how the international situation changes, China will always firmly support the restoration of the legitimate national rights of the Palestinian people, he said. China will always support the establishment of an independent state of Palestine that enjoys full sovereignty based on the 1967 borders, and with East Jerusalem as its capital, and support Palestine's full membership in the United Nations, he said. China is also willing to make greater contributions to promoting domestic reconciliation of Palestine, said Wang. He said the current situation in Gaza is unsustainable and that it is the international consensus to secure an unconditional and immediate ceasefire. Improving the humanitarian situation is a pressing priority, and the lives of innocent civilians shall not continue to be harmed, said Wang. China will continue to stand firmly with Arab states, uphold justice, and promote an early, comprehensive, just, and lasting solution to the Palestinian issue, he said. China-Arab states' joint statements on the Palestine issue was adopted at the 10th Ministerial Conference of the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum on Thursday. So I told you there's a lot of material about China, just to nobody forgot. And this is the hot issue in South China Sea. Taiwan independence means war, says Defense Minister spokesperson. China, May 30, 2024, CGTN. Hu Qian, spokesperson for the Chinese Ministry of National Defense, at a press briefing in Beijing, China, May 30, 2024, Chinese Ministry of National Defense. Taiwan independence means war, as Chinese military spokesperson said on Thursday, stressing that China's reunification is an irreversible trend of history. Hu Qian, spokesperson of the Ministry of National Defense, made the remarks in response to a media query related to Taiwan's new leader, Lai Ching-te's debut speech. Lai's speech is a confession of his attempts to seek Taiwan independence by force or by relying on external forces, Wu said, adding that the Chinese People's Liberation Army, PLA, firmly opposes this and has responded with strong countermeasures. Taiwan has been China's territory since ancient times, he said. This is backed by clear historical and jurisprudential basis. The 1943 Cairo Declaration and the 1945 Potsdam Proclamation clearly stipulated that Taiwan, as Chinese territory stolen by Japan, shall be restored to China, Wu pointed out. UNGA resolution 2758 made it clear that there is only one China in the world and that Taiwan is part of China, he added. Stefan Dujarric, spokesperson of UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, said last week that Taiwan is a province of China. In this regard of the fact, the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, authorities have been hell-bent on the separatist stance of Taiwan independence. Wu said the DPP authorities provoke antagonism and confrontation across the straits and act as pawns of foreign forces to contain China, he added. Its behavior seriously challenged the international order and severely damaged regional peace. Separatist activities seeking Taiwan independence constitute the biggest real threat to peace across the Taiwan Straits, he said. The PLA shoulders the mission of safeguarding national sovereignty and territorial integrity, said Wu. It is fully prepared, remains highly vigilant, and is ready to make resolute actions to counter any Taiwan independence separatist attempts and toward foreign interference. I don't know this word. THWART, toward foreign interference. He noted. This news was with input from Xinhua News. Well, and I'm seeking my destination here. I'm almost here in Uruguay Street. Just a little more. Scooter, such a great vehicle for peace times. This is the Italian school, pretty traditional. I am Italian, but I didn't study it there because it's too expensive, I guess. Well, all this is new. Yesterday I was writing on the floor Viva Trotsky. and the guy, the supervisor, the responsible, the fiscal, something like, saw me writing, and he threatened me. He says I was like a kid. But imagine how much better it will be to write Viva Trotsky on the floor. This street here is not so safe. la roja?
48.
Esa
Las
roja.
rojas son 41.
¿Y cuánto están?
42.
Go 37. Time for Tommy. Tommy is on his Tommy's on his room. He's for being a bad dog. I don't leave Tommy free with Milou because Tommy will kill Milou, definitely. Milou is super territorial and stupid. Milou just don't get it that Tommy will give him no chance, and Milou is keep trying to defend his room. I don't know why, they are friends. This is an alpha. This is an alpha issue. I just asked for a sneaker over there. It was 5 monies. I guess it was too much for a second-hand sneaker. This one I'm wearing, it was free. It was for free. I found it. Let's it go to 47, 47, 47. Almost there. I'm going to the cell phone. I'm going to check my cell phone. I hope it's open because this is almost lunchtime. This is almost lunchtime. Over there, there's more junk things. Is nice. It's here.